Friendly WFRN 725. Phil Wickham with This Is Amazing Grace on this Friday morning, November 15th. Good morning. Welcome to the WFRN Morning Show. We are Doug and Cody.
Cody, with the weather today in the low to mid 30s and sunny, pretty nice day. Pretty nice day today. Hearing that Phil Wickham song, I'll never be able to expunge something from my memory.
Sponge.
It is imprinted on my mind, and I tried to get rid of it, and I can't.
Okay.
First time I was at a Phil Wickham concert years ago, they had T-shirts at the merch table that showed a ham with a candle wick sticking out of it, burning like a ham-shaped candle, wick ham.
That was probably the very beginning of his launch. They needed people to understand how to say his name.
I still wake up sometimes in the middle of the night in cold sweats, remembering that. I can't get that out of my mind. Now,
It's an education campaign.
Something I don't want to get out of my mind, something I do not want to expunge from my mind is, I want to keep it in my mind, is all the great tips and insights we get on parenting from Triple P Parenting of Elkhart County, specifically Triple P with Trisha, Friday mornings. Trisha, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Trisha Lightfoot, this is the temporary adieu, final show of this year.
We're going to take the holidays off.
Taking the holidays
Yes.
off. And
Yes, we are.
looking forward to more Triple P in 2020. Helping us with our vision, our parenthood visioning in 2020.
Help us to focus in.
That's going to be talked about so many times
That
in the
promotion
next year.
writes itself.
2020 this, 2020 that. Anyway, we have been blessed again in 2019 by Triple P and this show. So, Trisha, we're all ears.
Well, great. Well, in regards to, taking the holiday break from the radio show, Triple P will still be going strong with lots of events and practitioners willing and able to meet with families. So we're not shutting the office down, but
still open to help people.
Very much so. But the radio show is getting a break. And to help prepare folks for the holidays, we were thinking ahead, and we have these discussion groups coming up in Napanee this coming Monday, the 18th, starting from at 6 o'clock with free childcare, snacks, and activities for your kids to do.
Awesome.
We're going to be talking about managing fighting and aggression and reducing some family conflict with your teenagers.
Okay.
So I want to give that sneak peek of reducing and managing fighting aggression today because holidays are coming, school breaks are coming, stress levels are going to spike a little bit with traveling.
There are a lot of folks pulling out notebooks and pencils right now taking notes.
So I just want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Because our kids fight all the time in little ways. Like we can't avoid our kids from fighting, whether they're fighting siblings or friends.
Sometimes with boys,
happen.
it's like sport.
Yeah.
After a while,
really
you figure out
feel
they
like
actually
that.
kind of like it a little bit.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that, if there is that fun, like back and forth, fun, kind, loving squabble going on at times. And then other times it's not. And when it gets to that point where it's not, and it's a full on power struggle between an older sibling and younger sibling, or, somebody's just really upset, we as parents, we have to step in right away to make sure that it doesn't escalate.
I have heard my sons use the phrase love punch. That was a love punch. But you're right.
I hate love punches.
It quickly is like in the peripheral vision and awareness, it's like, I don't think those are love punches anymore. I think those migrated into non-love punches.
Come to think of it, I don't think a love punch is possible.
I agree with
Even
that.
though you say that it is.
It's a bit of an oxymoron, no doubt. Okay. So how do we navigate this?
So I'm only going to focus on one main point today. There's a lot coming up in the discussion group on Monday. I encourage you to join us because we're only focusing on one point today. And one of the main points is to help your children problem solve. Because you want to hop in to stop the fighting from escalating because you don't want people to get hurt. But at the same time, you want to ask them questions so they can figure out the solution as much as possible. So you ask a question, you allow them time to think about it, maybe come up with an answer, maybe not. If they don't have an answer, then you jump in with some suggestions and a solution.
I like how you put problem solving into this because I always try to encourage my kids. I tell them that a huge sign of intelligence and your understanding of things is your ability to problem solve. And that goes for a lot of different things. I'm not talking about your math story problems. I'm talking about solving all kinds of problems that you're going to find in life.
Yeah, because the fights and the squabbles that they encounter in the home is a great opportunity for us as parents to teach them excellent communication skills in conflict. So it's all these little teachable moments. They're not easy. They're stressful for parents a good portion of the time, but we want to hop on that teachable moment.
Can I speak to something I think quite a few people are thinking right now, which is this? Don't get down on yourself and think, well, my communication skills and problem solving skills, I don't think they're that great. They are compared to your kid.
Very true.
I just want to encourage moms and dads in that.
And every couple minutes is a new opportunity to succeed and grow in our own communication skills. So practice with your kids, get better with your kids, and grow your confidence and test it out on the other people in your life.
That's good. That's good.
So when you're getting involved in a conflict with your kids and you're stopping that fighting from happening, one of the first things I would encourage you to do is to make sure that they share and take turns. And if they can't come up with the solution of, okay, we're going to do rock, paper, scissors, and whoever wins, then they get to go first. Well, if they're not there and you need to pick who goes first, no big deal. Pick who gets to use that item or gets to watch the TV show first. And then make sure that when you're doing that, every time you have to get involved into an argument, make sure you're not showing favoritism.
And they think you are. In my experience, no matter how hard I try to like alternate or, and some kids more than others feel like you always side with them. Yes. And I know I don't.
I have a child who does that.
I even have, I'm not going to name names, of course, but I have one pairing of our 5 kids, the youngers, that, of course, that I actually feel myself trying to lean in unequally toward the one who complains about it. Say, surely this will help that person. Not even use gender pronouns, and that child still thinks you always favor the other one, and I'm like, no, I don't. I've got like a 2-to-1 ratio going here.
Right.
I don't see it.
And sometimes when it gets like that, sometimes we just need hard evidence. So take the pencil to the calendar and write it down.
Scoreboard it.
So you can go back and do you
whip
see
out the HD video camera in my pocket?
I'm working really hard as mom to make sure I'm not showing favoritism. So I'm flipping every time. I'm sorry you feel this way, but
check the scoreboard. Clearly.
But that's really important because if we do our best as parents not to show favoritism, it does reduce that sibling rivalry.
Yes.
So, and it reduces the conflict because once they understand and once they get it, it's going to click.
And some really great people practice sibling favoritism. And we don't, people like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we don't want to be like that. We want to be aware. So thank you for helping us do better at this.
And then just as putting it out there, because often, and I fall into this parenting trap myself, it's a lot easier to cave to the youngest child's demands a lot of times, especially if we see them as the victim. Like, my boys are teenagers now. They're taller than I am. Right. And sometimes when they get in arguments, he'll use his puppy dog eyes on me. And
the younger one.
The younger one.
I've got one that has some puppy dog eyes.
He'll always
that can
be
get
the baby.
anything from anybody.
Yeah, so we have to practice a lot of self-control as parents to not cave into the youngest demands thinking that it's going to help things. But we want to make sure at the same time we're not always blaming the older child and saying, what did you do to cause this fight? They might not have actually been the one to instigate the fight. Plus, they're not going to be able to accurately tell you what happened because they're going to be really emotional anyways. So just as parents, remember, don't accuse them of things. Just, state fact-filled questions of okay, what is the problem? How can we solve this together?
A little more interview, a little less instant judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are my tips.
Right.
That's my highlight for the discussion group coming up Monday evening. Yes, you.
Can I ask? I've got my hand up in class. Can I ask a very specific question?
Go for it.
So we have an age gap with our kids.
Always fun.
Always fun, and really seriously, there are huge blessings to that. Like most things in life, but there's some challenges. So sometimes older siblings, it feels very mingled to me. Where on one hand, I know, I see it, and I even say this to them and thank them for it. Sometimes later, I see that they're really trying to be the guardian to their much younger sibling or the nurturer to help them, to guide them, and I totally see that. But it's intermingled, I think, with just good old-fashioned sibling rivalry too. I can make you do what I want you to do, and I want this
because I'm clearly older than you.
Yeah.
Learn from my wisdoms.
It makes it tough. It's like, wow, I like that they're looking out for him or her, whoever's involved. But it's intermingled. It's not cut and dried like I think two younger kids about the same age would be. Mm-hmm. Whew. And so that's a challenge.
It is. I hear you. And I've talked with a lot of parents about this, and like we've put it out there of like we should make a tip sheet someday. So it's a goal. It's out there for Triple P.
You've already got so many, and you're making more all the time. So bless you at Triple P.
I would, going off of your question, I would encourage you to maybe just talk with the older ones and state a phrase somewhere along the lines like, I need you to go ahead and be sibling because I want to make sure your connection, your heart-to-heart connection with the little one stays in that sibling mode. We don't want sibling rivalry. Let me be the parent so I can take the brunt of the arguments.
See, that sounds so much better than he doesn't need 4 parents.
Right.
Yeah, that's a better way. That's a more mature way to say that.
Go be a kid, be a big brother, be a big sister. Yeah. Let me handle all the problems.
That's
I got
good.
this.
I like that. Go be a kid. Just enjoy being a kid.
One of the things that I've added to something of that nature is that I try to take the responsibility of the parent off of the older child and say, you're not responsible for that. You shouldn't have to worry about that sort of thing.
You speak to their sense of responsibility.
That's my responsibility. And I don't want to burden you with thinking that that's something that you need to be thinking about.
I like that.
Yeah.
this is good stuff. Thank you guys.
Doug's
this is blessing
dancing
me.
In his chair.
I did my chair dance. It's the only kind of dancing I do. It's a chair dance.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're out there and you can't get to our Triple P events, I encourage you, surround yourself with some friends where you can bounce ideas off, just like what we just did just here. Bounce ideas off with those closest to you and have them help you problem solve through your challenges if you're not able to reach out to somebody else. So empower yourself as a parent when you're struggling.
Small groups really do rock. I mean, there's a reason they're popular at churches.
Yeah,
and it becomes so big. And here's a thought. It's easy to want to be with people your own age, but look for older couples. Look for empty nesters who have been there, done that.
Who've survived it all.
Yes. Good stuff. And again, so many resources at the website.
PPLCartCounty.org. Check us out. We've got a couple events coming up. Again, 2 hot topic items: managing fighting and aggression this Monday at the Napanee Public Library, and reducing family conflict with teenagers at the library. Same time, childcare, free snacks, activities. Come join us.
Free events, free childcare, free snacks. It's Triple P's just really blessing families, blessing parents, and blessing kids. And we thank the Lord for them. PPLCartCounty.org. Trisha Lightfoot, thank you so much.
Thanks, Trisha.
Thanks. Bye.
To you and your family, Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy holidays. And your family,